Hey, I'm Brad Cleveland. I'm a producer and engineer. I attend Full Sail University, and this is my podcast about Nirvana. Nirvana was formed in 1987 in Aberdeen, Washington, by Kurt Cobain and Chris Novoselic. Kurt Cobain was really a big Pixies fan. He was really into alternative rock and roll at the time, which was a very small genre. It really hadn't become much of anything, but it was a big deal on the West Coast, especially up in his area in Washington. Seattle is a big scene, the Sub Pop record scene, and he indeed got signed to that record label. Nirvana made their first record for Sub Pop. It was titled Bleach, and it was released in 1989. The record was definitely a lot looser than the following records, and it was done in a very small amount of time, and it was live tracked for the most part, which was different on the other albums. Nirvana then released Nevermind in 1991, which was a big production. It was their first release on a major label, Geffen Records, and they worked with Butch Vig, who was a well-known producer at the time and is still a well-known producer, and he was able to bring their sound up a notch and really tighten it up and clean it, polish it. The record obviously was a huge hit. It's a very well-known record. The cover is iconic, and it's become one of the most popular alternative rock records ever made. Although it sold really well, the band wanted to take a new direction on the next record because Kurt Cobain didn't believe in selling out. He was very intent on making something different. So on In Utero, they went to Steve Albini and they said they wanted to make a record in a span of a very short amount of time and kind of have it sounding rough on purpose. So they really took away the polished feel that they had on Nevermind, but the album sold well anyways, and they were huge on MTV at the time, and they were going out on stage doing crazy antics and throwing instruments around, and Chris Novoselic threw his bass up in the air and hit himself in the face, and different things like that were going on during the time period. The band was the most popular band in the world. In 1994, Kurt Cobain was found in his home dead. It was found that he had committed suicide. He had also been taking heroin and cocaine and other hard drugs at the time. And this was a big shock throughout the music community and the rest of the world. It was just a huge loss. They were very popular, they were very well known, and to have someone of that caliber commit suicide was a big deal at the time and in the media, and there's been lots of speculation on it since, but it's generally conceived that he committed suicide, and the band never really reformed. Nothing was ever made again after that point. Dave Grohl went on to start the Foo Fighters, and they have been a fantastic Grammy-winning band, and they continue to make records, and they're about to release a new one. Wasting Light will be coming out this year, and the band was never really the same. Music was never really the same without Kurt Cobain. I think that Nirvana makes a strong case to be included in this class or any music history class because of what they were able to accomplish in such a short time and the impact that Kurt Cobain's life had on the media at the time and on music media. And I think that's a really interesting story, and I think that the band showed that they could be popular doing what they really wanted to do, and that they weren't controlled by their producers and their managers, and that they were really on top of themselves creatively, and that what they produced was really what was inside of Kurt Cobain's mind, and that was the idea that really made the band, in my opinion, and I think that that's what makes them interesting. This has been my podcast on Nirvana. I'm Brad Cleveland, and I thank you for listening.